So I'm trying to get my profile to perfection on PlayStation. And the next game on the list is Detroit Become Human. This game came out in 2018 and pretty much everyone absolutely loved it for how unique and amazing the story is. But Lord have mercy, the game is so good it has like 10 different endings to each chapter you do, which obviously makes the trophy grind that much more tedious and annoying. But thankfully the game is very fun and good, so that helps the agony a tad bit. Almost like getting drunk every night like your father does to deal with your mother. Anyways, Detroit Become Human has 49 trophies in it, and the game has 85 different endings total. The first stage to the game is to do a pacifist playthrough where you really don't kill anybody the entire time, and try your best to keep every single main character alive for multiple trophies at the very end.
Let's go.
You begin the game off with a super high-paced first mission to really throw your fat ass into the waters right away. An android has gone rogue, or has become a deviant as they call it in the game. This means that the android is no longer responsive to orders and has actually become self-aware of what it's doing. And in this particular case, the one we are after has killed the father of this family who owns this very expensive apartment, mind you. Like seriously, these people are in a residential tower and have a whole ass pool. I actually can't even imagine how much that costs, but make sure to drop a like and subscribe so I can get one also. The android's entire game plan was to just kill the whole family, but he realizes fast that he doesn't even know what to do with his life, so he instead just holds this little girl hostage on the edge of a building. I ended up finding every clue available, so I had an absolute masterclass arsenal of berating things to say to him in order to make him calm down and raise my success percentage. Once it hit 99%, the android finally let the poor girl go so she could live her life and become the next Hillary Clinton. Then he was shot for allowing such a crime to happen, and we got to see the epic mission successful ending meme. Oh yeah, also, this guy's name is Connor if you don't know, and his whole job is to hunt down and kill deviants. The next chapter has us swap over to the Kara storyline. I'm not gonna lie, this storyline is pretty boring the entire time, and its entire purpose is to just make you feel bad about yourself. Oh wait, they just want you to feel real emotion. Sorry, I get the two confused. Kara gets purchased or returned back to this upstanding citizen named Todd, who broke Kara previously by beating the balls out of her. We then got to watch some cool cinematic shots of Detroit, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been to Detroit many times, and it does not look like that. In fact, my dad got robbed once in the street there, so I got beef with Detroit. For whatever reason after that, the game swaps over to Marcus and his storyline instead of continuing with Kara's. I'm not sure why they did this, but Marcus had a job to go get some paint, so I did that, and then got bullied by some unemployed idiots who will amount to nothing in their lives. And a policeman actually helped me out, which is shocking since I'm of colored skin. But I bet someone like Todd would be hateful to me since he loves to do drugs all day and beat his kid. And we got to go see him next. During this mission, you do chores until this part where Todd gets mad at his kid, and after they cry it out, the mission and chapter ended and I got a trophy. We then returned to the Marcus storyline and got home to Carl's house, who is this old man Marcus takes care of. And he is honestly a dog for real. The legend even lets me paint, and to make it better, I get to do it with my eyes closed so I don't get a nervous boner. Parentophilia is a real thing, don't judge me. And so is this painting. I think Marcus just won an award for best art without looking, I'm not gonna lie. However, the fun ends when Carl's real son walks in and starts to press Marcus for no reason other than jealousy of his fat wiener. Oh, and he also wanted money from Carl since he is loaded, but he gets none and storms out like an angry child. Next, we swap over to Connor to continue some epic police work. And we get introduced to Hank, who is Connor's human partner in the deviant cases. Hank also has a super controlled alcohol addiction and was just vibing in a bar 5 minutes before we started the job. We headed to this crack house in Detroit. Actually, I'm sorry. We headed to the most normal house in Detroit and searched around it because the owner was stabbed like 20 times or something by its android. Now I get it, he was fat, but 20 stabbings is a bit much for anyone. We ended up finding all the clues, and then it led to the attic, which after entering we found the culprit just chilling up there. My boy has literally been here for months just vibing by himself. After we told Hanky Boy, the mission ended and we got another trophy for chapter completion. We then got to go back to good old Todd's house, and it really heated up this time. After lots of drug usage, Todd really lost his mind, and I followed the game's directions and didn't intervene while he was beating Alice, who was his daughter in this chapter. And she died, so yeah. I had to reset the mission and do it again because we were supposed to keep her alive. And we're also supposed to turn deviant in the process. After breaking through the invisible walls of the schizophrenic mind, we ran up to Alice and grabbed her to run away from Todd, who was after us like a deprived man of love, full of drugs and despair. And after barely making it out of his mansion, we found a bus right next to the house and just hopped on to escape with ease, since we all know Todd skips cardio. But he gave us a trophy so he can do what he pleases. Back on Marcus's storyline, and we walk, or rather roll, in on Carl's son stealing art for money. He's doing this so he can feel his Amaranth OnlyFans addiction. And after yelling at him, he starts to really beef with me and even Will Smith my face. Now I was feeling like Chris Rock, so I didn't fight back. Instead, I just watched as Carl had a damn heart attack right next to me. And then the police walked in, and of course they shot me the only colored guy in the room. Now that is just shameless, Sony. I expected more out of you in these times. Oh, and we got a trophy. Back to Connor now, and we are interrogating the android who we captured previously. And it's safe to say that once they start headbanging into the metal table, they are no longer stable. And you shouldn't try to intervene because you will get shot in the face. So after I failed, I tried it again. And this time after assaulting the man emotionally, he just popped himself and nobody else. And another sexy trophy for the collection. It's Kara's turn again, and we get to do a super fun mission called babysitting. Except instead of getting paid an absurd amount of money to do it, we instead get to just wander around in the rain and steal clothes from a laundromat because we are that desperate. Anyways, this mission was super boring, so let's just skip to the part where we get a hotel room and call it quits. Oh, and thank the Lord it's not another car mission next. We get to play as the homie Marcus, who isn't doing so hot. He has lost 3 parts after the police brutally took care of the situation. So we scavenge around this junkyard to find them, and whilst doing so, some robot's last words were to tell us about a safe place called Jericho, which is a major part of the game later. So this mission, we literally just stole any remaining life force left in other robots and then climbed out of the pit in a super overdramatic ending. Connor then gets to take the reins, and this whole mission was him just annoying Hank at his day job until it ended and gave us another trophy. And we changed back to Kara. And if it wasn't clear she was weird before, it definitely is now. In order to hide her identity, she decides to cut all of her hair off. And honestly, it didn't do anything besides make her look like a lesbian.
You're pretty like that. You really look like a human now.
Oh, thanks, Alice. She's right, because no intelligent creature would ever do this on purpose. On this mission, we actually get a cool intersection between Kara and Connor, since Connor is chasing her down because she is now a deviant. It's fairly easy to not be seen though, because you can basically just walk past the police, and as long as you don't stand in front of them for like 14 seconds, their donut faces won't even notice you. So we made it to the train station and had another crying moment because girls will be girls, and got a trophy. Now we get to be Marcus, since he hasn't had any screen time in a while, and get a quite boring mission where we just try to find Jericho, which is hidden away in this abandoned building, ship, bunker thing, I don't even know. But there is a jump scare for whatever reason, and I kind of pooped my pants a little bit.
Cap.
But after falling very graciously, Marcus gets up and we have officially made it to the safe haven, which is a lot less glamorous than I hoped for. It basically just consists of a bunch of pussies hiding in the dark. And whilst all that was happening, Connor and Hank were just chilling eating burgers. Or rather, Hank was, and Connor just watched in dying agony to eat real food. Brother is deprived. Anyways, we got to go search another crime scene area. It was his apartment for a deviant who had a ton of pigeons for some reason, and was again hiding in the damn ceiling. And as the legend says,
1 time is funny, 2 times fucking annoying, no?
So we then got to chase him down, and that was pretty easy, but it ends with us choosing to save Hank or get the criminal. And since we were doing a pacifist playthrough, I had to save Hank even though I didn't want to. But I got a trophy, so it's chill. We then got 2 back-to-back boring missions. One was with Marcus, and he straight up just mingled with the locals, and then the other was with Kara, who went to some dude's quote-unquote safe house, when in reality it was a house full of torture and agony. And the fat dude tried to erase our memory and strip us down for fun. But we got out of the place with Alice, and then the army of war veterans took him down for us, and we got a trophy. Connor then took a booty call to Hank's house, and we spot him passed out drunk, which is honestly how I imagine he spends most of his time, so it's not a shocker. But after getting him all sobered up, it sends us over to Marcus, and him and a ton of side characters are robbing the android production warehouse so they can get some food and not die. This was actually a lot of fun because we got some action finally, and I even knocked out 2 guards in the process. So anyways, we got the job done and returned to Jericho to get good tidings from the locals and a trophy. We then got to do my personal favorite mission of the game, one which takes place inside of a very Christian club for holy people. And we even got to fight a bunch of women in their underwear. So overall, I rated a 10 out of 10 mission, except for the ending because I accidentally shot one and ruined the whole pacifist thing. But I quit the menu and it gave me a trophy for doing that, which I didn't even mean to. And I was forced to restart checkpoint to continue the pacifist playthrough, but it put us like right where I left off, so it was chill. And this time I didn't shoot them and let them go, which was like wholesome or something, I don't really care, but I got a trophy. And then we had another horrible Kara mission where she just wandered around and babysit some more. I can't be asked to make a joke here because the mission was one in itself, and I got a trophy after it. We then got to do this Mission Impossible type mission where the Jericho people and Marcus straight up just infiltrate this tower and drop multiple men on the way. And after taking it over, we broadcasted a mission on like every news channel or something, saying that androids are basically going to take over and the humans have to let it happen. Now, as a human, I can say that this would definitely be frightening if it happened in real life. Like, just imagine your phone started asking for rights. What an idiot. But these androids are badass and just jumped off the building's roof and parachuted away, giving another trophy and 2 more inches of growth, if you know what I mean. And then Connor gets to the tower also, and we get to re-experience what just happened. Kind of funny, but there was a really interesting bit where you interrogate 3 of these identical androids to find which one was in on it. And the deviant sometimes would look over at you, and it was super creepy, but it was awesome. Sadly, he literally ripped my heart out, and I honestly didn't think it could happen again, but I was proven wrong. But after thugging that out, I chased down the deviant and bopped him in the head without hesitation because nobody touches me without having a turn also. Oh, and we got a car mission next and a trophy after it ended. We then did this Jericho mission, which had us like hijack a ton of androids and peacefully protest. But that didn't stop the cops from killing a lot of the homies. And we almost got to get our first confirmed kill, but sadly couldn't because of the way of the Lord. And then every single news station started talking about the androids again with a tiny bit of positive respect on our names. And we got a trophy. Next we play as Connor and Hank and go to interrogate the creator of the androids, who apparently didn't hear that man buns or whatever the hell that is look stupid.
I like it, cut G.
He also asked me to waste this dime piece android, but I refused to because I'm a nice guy like that. And we got a trophy for not committing mass murder again. We then did another stupid ass peaceful protest, and I'm literally edging to kill someone right now, but I have to hold off for a while longer and just watch as everyone around me gets shot down by bullets. But hey, a trophy makes it all better. We then had a fun mission with Connor where he needed to solve a puzzle within 5 minutes and find out where Jericho was. And you do it by tricking this poor blind android that is Marcus talking, and he just gives you all the info and then gets shut down. We also had a fight with this other detective named Gavin, and we all know that any motherfucker named Gavin loves soy milk, so we easily took him down and got a trophy. Then we get to play the last real chapter of the game, which has a ton of swapping back and forth between the 3 storylines of the game. Some notable things that happened though are that Connor turned deviant and joined Marcus after nearly killing him. Jericho was overrun with the mean police people, and after we escaped the mean police people, I got a triple trophy pop, which was just pure hotness. There was also an iconic scene where Connor meets Connor, and Hank is held hostage by Connor, and then the 2 Connors then yell at each other for a few minutes until nobody knows what's happening, and then Hank just shoots one in the head. So a great game and all. We then have a super stupid ending where Marcus just sings his heart out and gets sympathy from the news and soldiers, so they didn't kill us all. Oh, and at the end when Marcus is giving his I have a dream speech, he is nearly assassinated by Connor, who got hacked. But thankfully we found the override switch in his mental storm and didn't kill the homie. And Kara and Alice made it to safety or something, and who cares. We then watched some credits and I got 1 trophy. Just kidding, I got 8, but they didn't even pop since it was so many from the ending that it couldn't. But here they are in my library. And now it's the cleanup time, which before doing the violent playthrough, I just went and did a few easy trophies first. Anyways, the violent playthrough is actually a lot of fun, but it's also the same one where you need to die as Connor 8 times and story for another trophy, which can be summed up pretty much like this. You get shot a lot and die a lot. And the first trophy I got doing this was after Hank shot me in the face because I was being an annoying little piece of ass and was purposely making him even more depressed. And then I was Marcus and got my first confirmed kill on those policemen who took down our friends from before. I was then also a negative simp and took down that baddie AI Chloe when with the creator of the androids. Hank wasn't happy though since he was trying to tap, but I got a trophy. And I gotta say, the violent playthrough is like 10 times more fun because we get missions like this where it's just an all-out brawl. And so many quick time events happen, it makes it such a ride. And I got another trophy after we straight up just took out like an army of soldiers. Public opinion isn't good on this one. I then got 2 more trophies in the next mission for doing super aggressive things. And then once you finish the game with an all-out brawl and some super cursed mission with Kara, I got quite a few more trophies for finishing the game that way also. I did miss a few though and had to go back and replay that last mission again and again, which kinda sucked. But the final trophy I got was from finding the final magazine, which is this game's only collectible, thank the Lord. These were kind of annoying to do since some don't spawn when certain things happen, but it's not as bad as it probably could have been since there is chapter select. And after I found all of them, I got the trophy and then the platinum pop right after. So that was Detroit Become Human's platinum trophy. Honestly, great game, I liked it a lot. And here's my playtime and then the platinum in my library since people still think I faked the vids, which is just hilarious.